Welcome back to the Business Ignite podcast, where we light the fire for business growth and marketing success. Your hosts, Ethan Walker and Samantha Reed, bring you the latest trends, expert insights, and actionable strategies to fuel your business journey. Let's ignite your potential.
Ever pour your heart into a landing page only to hear crickets? Yeah, it's a total bummer.
It really is.
So today we're going to crack the code on crafting landing pages that convert, and we've got the perfect guide.
Oh, tell me more.
We're diving deep into tips to design your landing pages. A fantastic article by Kiana Brady from 95 Visual.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm ready.
This article is jam-packed with actionable advice, and we're going to break it all down, nice and easy, no jargon, just real-world tips you can use today.
Love that. Now, one thing that's always fascinated me about landing pages is that they're often the very first touch point a potential customer has with a brand.
It's true. It's like that all-important first impression.
Exactly. You got to make it count. It's kind of like, a first date. You want to put your best foot forward.
And just like a bad date, a clunky landing page sends people running for the hills. I know I've done my fair share of hitting that back button.
Oh, absolutely. We've all been there.
Kiana really stresses keeping things simple, which is music to my ears because nobody wants to wade through a wall of text.
Right. You're preaching to the choir. Simplicity is king, and it's actually a fundamental principle in good design, not just for landing pages, but for everything.
So true.
Think about it. Apple products. They're known for their clean, intuitive design.
Yeah.
And that's a huge part of their success. When you eliminate the unnecessary, when you declutter, you give people the mental space to actually focus on what matters most.
It's like clearing out those mental cobwebs so your message can really shine through.
Precisely. And there's actually a psychological term for this, cognitive load. Our brains, especially in the online world, they have limited processing power. We're constantly bombarded with information.
Right.
So when you have a cluttered page, it creates this mental friction, making it harder for people to digest your message and ultimately take action.
So it's not just about aesthetics, right? It's about guiding visitors towards a specific goal, which Kiana talks about. She emphasizes having that crystal clear call to action and using contrasting colors to make it pop. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. That call to action, that's your moneymaker. It needs to be front and center, unmistakable. And using contrasting colors, genius. It's like we used to do in school, highlighting the important text in a textbook. You're visually emphasizing exactly what you want people to do.
It's true. And speaking of visuals, Kiana also gets into the nitty-gritty of color psychology. I was blown away by how much thought goes into choosing the right colors.
Oh, it's a fascinating field. Did you know that the color green often signifies things like growth, tranquility?
Really?
Yeah. It's often used for those buy now buttons. Or how about red? Creates a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Perfect for limited time offers.
Wow, you're telling me I can influence behavior with the right color palette. That's both powerful and a little bit scary at the same time.
It is. It's all about understanding those subtle psychological triggers.
That's incredible. Kiana also talks about the importance of social proof, like testimonials, to build trust with potential customers. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, social proof is huge. This is where that authority bias comes in. We're naturally wired to trust a product review from someone who seems like an expert, or even just someone who's tried the product before us. It just feels more relatable and trustworthy.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure. Like, I'm way more likely to trust a review from someone who's actually bought and used that coffee maker, let's say, versus just seeing a generic ad from the company.
100%. And savvy businesses, they know this. They leverage it by showcasing authentic testimonials and using language that builds credibility. And speaking of language, Kiana talks about the importance of strong, compelling headlines, ones that really grab your attention.
Oh, yeah. She uses words like amazing and mind-blowing, to make those headlines pop.
For sure. But here's the caveat. You got to use those power words authentically. You want to create excitement, intrigue, but you also have to deliver on the promise of your headline.
Right.
Don't oversell, don't exaggerate, because that erodes trust faster than you can say bounce rate.
It's like clickbait, but for landing pages.
Yeah.
It might get people to click, but if you don't deliver on that promise, they're gone. Speaking of keeping people on the page, Kiana mentions this idea of staying above the fold. Can you explain what that means?
Absolutely. It's a term that actually comes from the newspaper days. Remember newspapers? Above the fold referred to the content you could see before you unfolded the paper.
Oh, okay.
So it was that prime real estate.
Right. Like my grandparents used to get the newspaper delivered, and they would always look at that top half first.
Precisely. And while the literal fold may not be as relevant in the digital world, The principle remains the same. You want to make sure your most crucial information, your value proposition, that call to action, is immediately visible when someone lands on your page. You don't want them to have to go hunting for it.
Right.
It needs to be front and center.
It's all about that instant gratification.
Exactly.
You know, grab their attention from the get-go. Another thing that always makes me click away from a website, though, is when there's just too much going on. Too many links, pop-ups, ads, you name it. It's overwhelming.
You're preaching to the choir again. And Kiana actually talks about this too. Minimizing distractions on your landing page is key. It's about reducing what we call friction in the user experience. Every unnecessary click, every irrelevant piece of information, it all adds friction that could lead to someone abandoning their journey. Right.
And we don't want that.
No, it's like trying to read a recipe, but you've got these pop-up ads covering all the ingredients.
Exactly. A landing page should be a smooth, guided path toward a desired outcome.
I love that. A smooth, guided path.
That's the goal.
Okay, so we've talked about simplicity, we've talked about clear calls to action, and we've even touched on the psychology of color. But speaking of psychology, Kiana makes a really interesting point about tailoring landing pages to specific audiences. She uses the example of someone clicking through from a Facebook ad versus someone who Googled a specific term. What do you think about that?
Oh, that is so key. You wouldn't use the same language or imagery if you're targeting busy moms versus tech-savvy teenagers. It just wouldn't land the same way.
It all comes down to audience segmentation. By truly understanding your audience, their demographics, their pain points, what brought them to your page in the first place, you can create a much more personalized experience, one that resonates with their specific needs and desires.
It's like the difference between seeing a generic billboard and then getting a personalized message that speaks directly to you.
100%. Personalization is key.
So we're personalizing our message, we're keeping it clean and simple, but then Kiana also throws in this really important reminder about being honest. She cautions against overselling or making promises you can't keep.
Which is so important.
Right. It can be tempting to go over the top, especially in today's competitive landscape, but she argues that honesty is ultimately the best policy.
She's absolutely right. In a world that's completely saturated with marketing messages, authenticity is more valuable than ever. People can spot BS a mile away, and it just erodes trust. When you're honest and transparent about what you offer, you're building a foundation of trust that can lead to those long-term customer relationships.
Yeah, it's not just about making a quick sale. It's about building a genuine connection. Plus, when you underpromise and overdeliver, you create this sense of delight that keeps customers coming back for more.
You got it. Exceeding those expectations, that's what creates those positive associations with your brand.
It's like that feeling you get when you find an extra French fry at the bottom of the bag. Pure delight. Okay, maybe not exactly the same, but you get the idea.
I do. You're right. Exceeding expectations, it creates this powerful, positive feeling. It shows you care. And that ultimately leads to loyalty. It really does. It shows you care. And that ultimately leads to loyalty. Now, speaking of going above and beyond, Kiana also emphasizes the importance of using analytics to track your landing page's performance.
That's so smart. You can have the prettiest landing page in the world, but if it's not converting, what's the point, right?
Exactly. Analytics, they give you that valuable data to see what's working, what's not.
Yeah.
Are people clicking on your call to action? Are they spending time on the page, or are they bouncing right away? This information helps you understand user behavior and make adjustments to improve those conversion rates.
It's like having this behind-the-scenes look at how people are interacting with your page. You can see where they're getting stuck, what's grabbing their attention.
It's about constantly testing, tweaking, and optimizing based on the data. The most successful landing pages, they're not static. They're constantly evolving.
Right. It's a good reminder that optimization is a journey, not a destination. There's always room for improvement, and analytics can help you pinpoint those areas where you can make the biggest impact.
Well said. It's like fine-tuning a recipe. You start with a solid base, and you keep experimenting until you've created something truly delicious.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this final thought. As you dive into the world of landing page optimization, think about which metrics are most important for your specific goals. Is it click-through rates, form submissions? Identifying those key performance indicators, that's going to give you a roadmap for creating landing pages that truly convert. Happy optimizing. You know, it really is like that perfect recipe. You keep tweaking it until it's just right.
Exactly. And speaking of those finishing touches, Kiana brings up a really important point in the article, talking about the importance of mobile optimization.
Oh, right, because these days everyone's on their phones, scrolling, tapping, you name it.
Exactly. So if your landing page looks amazing on a desktop, but then it's all jumbled and confusing on a smaller screen, people are going to bounce faster than you can say responsive design.
Makes sense.
You got to make sure that user experience is seamless no matter what device someone's using.
So it's not just about making it look pretty on mobile, it's about making sure everything functions properly too, right? Like buttons are easy to tap, forms are easy to fill out, that sort of thing.
Exactly. It's all about those little
But
details.
the little details make a big difference.
They really do.
Well, I think this has been a fantastic deep dive. We've covered so much ground, from the psychology of color to the importance of mobile optimization. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners out there who are ready to transform their landing pages from meh to amazing?
Here's the thing. Landing page optimization, it's not a one-and-done deal. It's an ongoing process.
Right.
So stay curious, keep testing, keep iterating, and don't be afraid to experiment and see what works best for your audience and your business.
I love that. Stay curious. It's all about finding that perfect formula for your unique audience and then constantly refining it, right? Well, on that note, we'll let you get back to optimizing those landing pages. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time for more actionable insights and expert advice.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business Ignite podcast, where we fuel your business growth and marketing success. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to rate and review us. It does help others find the show. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Business Ignite Podcast and share this episode with a friend. Keep the fire burning, and remember, your success is just one strategy away. Until next time, stay ignited.